All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. To start us off, I would love to kick us off with a quick question, and no pressure, there's no wrong answer. What color is the sky? Now, some folks might say blue, but if you had asked me when I was a kid, I would have said, it depends. Is it raining? Is it morning? Is it one of those Atlanta evenings where the sky turns into a swirl of peach and purple? But back in the 90s, in most public high school classrooms in Georgia, nuance didn't exactly win you points. The answer was supposed to be blue. And I was one of those students that really wrestled with that always saw things a little bit sideways, a little bit deeper, a little bit differently. Hey y'all, I am Jaz Burton. I'm an Atlanta native. I'm a Riverwood International Charter School IB graduate and a lifelong creative who never stops asking questions that challenge the way we see things. I'm also the proud big sister of another IB alumna, my sister Courtney, who's here with me today. Hey, Courtney. But that way of seeing has really been the through line that's connected my work, my life, and my purpose to this day. Because there's something that I learned in an IB high school classroom that stopped me in my tracks. When light enters your eye, the image that hits your retina is actually upside down. But then, get this, your brain quietly and instantly flips it to be right side up. That small but huge learning really taught me that we don't just see with our eyes, we see with our minds. We adapt and reshape what we take in, and if our minds can reshape and flip the images that we're consuming, then maybe we can flip the script of the story that we tell ourselves too. So a little bit about me. I am, again, an Atlanta native and the proud daughter of Black and Native American parents in an upwardly mobile home that was full of love, ambition, and a strong sense of awareness. Before I could even spell the word design, I was taught how to walk into a room, stand tall, look people in the eye, speak with clarity, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. And some people might call those soft skills, but for our family, these were always essential tools of engagement that either opened or closed doors before anyone saw your resume or heard your big idea. Despite these critical skills, sometimes I felt out of sync within the systems within which I was moving. My way of thinking that was creative, layered, and contextual didn't always match with the systems that were built to reward. And that's what made IB such a transformative experience for me. IB didn't just give me structure, it gave me space. Space to think differently, to explore complex questions, to stay in the world if it depends. It taught me to value the process and not just the end product, bringing people along, asking how might we, and what perspectives are we missing? It was first in IB that I first encountered international ideas and classmates with global mindsets in an academic environment where cultural context mattered. It was my first time being in a global learning community, which is a through line that's been a part of my worldview and my world shaping to this day. It also gave me the vocabulary to imagine futures that didn't yet exist. When I was 18, I wrote college essays about becoming a social impact designer before that was even a career path or a job title that I had ever been exposed to. And those essays unlocked a full merit-based scholarship to Georgia Tech, which changed everything. It was there at Georgia Tech where my perspective was shifted yet again, this time through an unexpected lens, a toilet, if you can imagine. Because as you may or may not know, sanitation is a story that is often untold. It tends to be the elephant in the room during conversations about global issues silenced by cultural taboos and discussed, despite the fact that of the 7 billion people in the world today, everybody poops. This reality disproportionately impacts the livelihoods, educational attainment, and career advancements of underserved communities around the world. And what I learned in particular in my first year at Georgia Tech was girls abroad and in my own backyard of Atlanta were dropping out of school, missing school, because their schools didn't have access to safely managed sanitation. This reality, this story, in my opinion, was simply unacceptable. Fast forward several years, my senior design team was the first all-female team to win the Georgia Tech Inventure Prize competition, which is the largest undergraduate invention competition in the United States, for our co-designed innovative toilet concept called the Safi Shoe. And we piloted this in several communities across sub-Saharan Africa, and this unlocked and enabled me to start my first social enterprise called Wish for Wash. We're a social impact organization that seeks to bring innovation to sanitation and menstruation through culturally specific research, design, and education. Over the past 12 years, I had the incredible opportunity of leading over 200 people across 10 countries, reaching more than 100,000 people worldwide, securing patents, publishing peer-reviewed research, building community-led solutions with a 1 to 3 social return on investment. And while I'm immensely proud of all of these milestones, what became immediately clear to me was that this was never just about designing better toilets. This was about determining what matters and challenging the narrative of what matters and who gets to be a part of the solution building. Because toilets don't exist in a vacuum. Sanitation touches everything, y'all. From behavior change to supply chains, to gender norms, to cultural context, to social systems, and honestly, it was the unexpected gateway to the worlds of global health and education for me. That foundation early on laid the groundwork for what came next. I went on to earn my master's in public health in London and my MBA from Emory, all focused on equity and social innovation, which was a global path that really was catalyzed in high school in my IB program. Later on, through work with the CDC, IDO, and PSI, I started really seeing just how much that deep and lasting change begins with education. Because when you change how people learn, you change how they see themselves, their communities, and what's possible. Being in a room full of educators, I know that I'm in good company when I say that education and educational systems are where young people form their identities, where they either feel seen or erased, where their futures are either unlocked or shut down before they've even begun. That shift in perspective, and honestly remembering how much education was transformative for me, is what led me to co-found the Anchor School, which is a tuition-free public charter school that was created in Decatur, Georgia, with a community co-design model beginning in 2020. We're grounded in project-based learning and holistic adolescent development. We've built a real village of educators, families, and community members, all partnering with 6th to 12th grade scholars in their pathway to developing the skills and confidence to exceed in life and in school. And we're really excited. We're launching into our 8th grade year in August, our 3rd year in operations. It's been a beautiful journey to date. And that same commitment to community and connection and co-creation is what led me to my current role as the founding executive director for America's Promise Alliance Atlanta, which is the first place-based version of a local national network of leading youth-serving organizations. We're focused on supporting K-12 and post-secondary and economic opportunity organizations with capacity building, leadership development, and creating containers for collective action so that these organizations can best meet the needs of young people in these ever-changing times. And along the way, as I've been able to design this incredible and thriving career ecosystem in the impact economy, I've had the immense pleasure of helping unlock over $120 million for other social entrepreneurs in the sanitation, education, and women's empowerment spaces, with the goal of paying it forward so that more equity-based and community-based solutions can thrive. Whew, y'all. It has been one crazy, amazing, and beautiful journey to date, and the best part is, I'm just getting started. At the end of the day, it's not just about designing better questions or designing better solutions, it's about asking better questions. No matter the project, toilets, schools, systems, the heartbeat of my work traces back to what IB gave me. The courage to lead with empathy, to ask better questions, and to the ability to imagine more inclusive futures. And that's the spirit behind this week's conference theme, Our Humanity Connected. The world can feel upside down at times, but just like our brains can flip the image so that we can see clearly, IB can help us flip our thinking, to help us dig deeper, reframe challenges, and respond with more intention. When we stay rooted in what IB stands for, curiosity, reflection, open-mindedness, and principled action, we equip the next generation to meet uncertainty with confidence, compassion, and a strong sense of direction. As I stand before you today, I'm both humbled and grateful because I know that 18-year-old version of me that was writing essays about designing a better future would be so proud to see how this adventure has unfolded. And she would be so excited to know that maybe, just maybe, the next time someone asks, what color is the sky? We, the collective we, will know that it truly depends. Because when our perspective is shaped by community and diversity, the sky isn't the limit. It's the launch pad. Let's continue to see, design, belong differently together. Thank you.